Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the Alphas. You've stumbled into chaos again, haven't you? You've broken the mold, shattered the glass, kicked the damn door off its hinges, and now the world's gasping, screaming, clawing at their screens like you just committed a war crime on mediocrity. BROOO WTF, did you just do? Everyone's freaking out over you. They're yelling, they're panicking, they're trying to process it all, but they won't. Because when a storm like you walks into silence, silence ceases to exist. When you erupt, the noise doesn't just follow, it begs for your command. You didn't come here to fit in, you came to detonate. And detonate you did. You didn't ask for permission. You didn't knock. You didn't smile and hold hands with doubt like the rest of them. You came with smoke in your lungs, fire in your throat, and an apocalypse in your soul. And now, the weak are trembling because they've never seen someone who actually meant it, who actually burned for it, who actually lived for the chaos they always claimed to crave. You've become the exact nightmare they swore they were ready for, but never prepared to face. What did you do? You made them feel small. You made them see their ceilings for the first time and realize you were already 10 floors higher, bleeding, limping, laughing, screaming, but never, not once, stopping. They had their comfort. You had your wrath. They had their sleep. You had your hunger. And that difference, that's what they fear. That's what they'll never forgive. You reminded them what it looks like when a human refuses to be caged. You reminded them what it looks like when someone refuses to fold. You weren't born in the same soil as them. You were grown in the aftermath, forged in the collapse, tempered by betrayal, abandonment, by all the cold nights where nobody came to save you, and you stopped waiting. That's when you started building, with broken tools, with shattered dreams, with blood and spite and silence. You've been screaming into the abyss so long it finally screamed back, and now it answers to you. They're freaking out? Good. Let them. You are not a warning shot. You are the entire artillery. You are not a teaser. You are the war. You didn't come for applause. You came for domination. There are no trophies for this path. Just scars, just graves, just you and the fire you carry inside you, because if you let it die even for a second, the world will win. And the world has no place for you. It fears you, and rightly so. You didn't just break the rules. You made people realize the rules were never real. That fear was never your master. It was your weapon. That doubt was never your ceiling. It was your fuel. That rage wasn't your flaw. It was your engine. That shame. Oh, that sacred shame. You turned it into armor. You wore it until it hardened, until it gleamed, until the very thing they tried to bury you with became the shovel you used to dig your way out. They tried to silence you, and you became louder. They tried to forget you, and you became unforgettable. Now, they try to outrun you, but you're already in their nightmares. They're not scared of what you did. They're scared of what you'll do next, because you've tasted your own power now, haven't you? You've glimpsed that terrifying possibility that maybe, just maybe, nothing can stop you once you let go of needing to be understood. Once you kill the last bit of need for validation. Once you laugh at every rule they try to tie you down with. You've become an idea now, and ideas don't bleed. Ideas infect. You're not here to be liked. You're here to haunt, to disrupt, to dismantle. You are not here to be one of them. You're here to remind them what it looks like when someone is built for more, built for the abyss, built to look into the jaws of hell and smile. They say you're too intense, too much, too loud. They don't understand. They never will. Because you weren't made for comfort. You were made for war. And this moment, this very chaos they're all drowning in, that's your home. You walk through it like a monarch, barefoot, with a grin carved from vengeance and vision. You breathe in their fear like oxygen. You thrive in it. You're not like them. You never were. They need a reason to rise. You only need a pulse. And as long as you have that, they have something to fear. So keep going. Don't explain. Don't defend. Don't apologize. Every second you spend trying to make them comfortable is a second you could spend making history. You didn't ask to be understood. You came to be unforgettable. Let them misunderstand. Let them gossip. Let them spin tales and scream, "BROOO WTF, did you just do?" Because that sound, that's the sound of reality breaking. That's the sound of your impact. And now that you've started, you don't stop. There is no going back. There is no version of you that fits inside their little narrative. You are the glitch. You are the virus in their system. You are the prophecy they tried to burn but couldn't kill. You are what comes after fear. You are what grows in the ashes. You are the thing they thought only existed in legends. The unkillable, the relentless, the unstoppable you. You walk into rooms now and the air changes. People feel it. They don't know why, but something inside them tightens. A warning, a whisper, a tremble. Because somewhere deep down, they sense it. The presence of someone who isn't bound by the same invisible chains they are. Someone who chewed through the leash. Someone who wasn't broken, only reshaped. Your existence alone is a threat to everything they were told to accept. You are proof that limits are a lie, that fear is a suggestion, that survival isn't the same as living, and that to truly live, you must be willing to kill the old version of yourself in public, over and over again. They say, everyone's freaking out over you, like it's a bad thing. But you know better. You know the world never changed because someone whispered politely. It changed when someone screamed. It changed when someone bled. It changed when someone didn't stop swinging. You are that someone, and they don't know what to do with you because you're not here to play the game. You're here to end it. You don't crave their applause. You crave the grind, the resistance, the pressure, the adversity, because those are the sharpening stones. Every setback was a whetstone, every betrayal, a forge. Every time they told you, not like that, you got louder, harder, more defiant, because you knew nobody was coming to crown you. You had to build your own damn throne, out of rubble, out of bones, out of nights no one saw, and pain no one applauded. They're freaking out because they thought you'd stay quiet. They thought you'd stay soft. They thought you'd play nice. They were wrong. You weren't made for peace. You were made to bring reckoning. That's why your presence burns. That's why they can't look away. You are the reckoning they never expected, the ghost of everything they buried inside themselves but never dared to resurrect. They see you, and suddenly their own excuses feel pathetic. They see you, and suddenly their timelines look cowardly. Because you didn't just break the mold. You laughed while doing it. You made destruction look divine. You are not the hero. Heroes are loved. Heroes are worshipped. You're something older, something more primal. You're the embodiment of the storm that comes after the heroes fail. You're what shows up when mercy dies. You are not built for their stories. You are the monster that writes its own. You are the howl in the distance, the scream they tried to silence. You are the consequence. And still, you rise. Still, you keep going. Every bruise a badge, every scar a signature. You don't hide your wounds. You wear them as warning, as proof, as prophecy. You're not trying to be better than them. You're trying to be undeniable, irrefutable. You're carving a name into the wall of existence so deep that time itself will bleed trying to erase it. They don't understand. This isn't just effort to you. This is survival. This is the way you breathe. If you're not evolving, you're dying. And you refuse to die quietly. They're still watching, still asking, still whispering, WTF? Did you just do? But they'll never truly get it, because this wasn't one action. This was the culmination of every time you stayed standing, when everything begged you to kneel. This was the scream from a soul that spent too long being polite. This was the eruption of a volcano they kept trying to cage with compliments. You didn't just break out, you rewrote the rules of the game. This level of intensity, this fury, this obsession, it scares them, because you've committed in ways they're too afraid to. You've sacrificed comfort, you've bled for progress, you've lost people, sleep, sanity, but never yourself. You stayed true to the fire, even when it burned you, even when it consumed everything soft inside you. That's the difference. That's why you're feared. Because you kept going even when the light went out. And now that it's back, you are the light. You've become inevitable, not just in action, but in energy. People feel your momentum like gravity. It pulls, it bends, it consumes. You're not chasing anything anymore. You are the chase. You're not following the path. You're making one with your bare hands, carving through noise, through doubt, through hate. And each time they try to bury you, you grow roots. Each time they try to smother you, you turn smoke into signal. You are not beatable. You are becoming. And they still don't get it. They think this is a phase. They think this is some trend. They don't understand. This is who you are now. This isn't adrenaline. This is identity. This isn't hype. This is hunger. And hunger doesn't fade. It feeds. You don't move to impress. You move to devour. You wake up not to prove, but to conquer. To grind until the voice in your head is the only one that matters. Until fear becomes laughable. Until pressure feels like pleasure. Until pain feels like home. So let them talk. Let them panic. Let them post and question and scream and wonder, WTF, did you just do? Because the truth is, they're right to be afraid. They're right to be confused. Because you are the disruption. You are the signal in the static. You are the answer to a question they didn't want to ask. What happens when someone finally stops holding back? What happens when someone stops holding back? The world shifts. The atmosphere cracks. Time slows. Because everything they thought they understood about ambition, about power, about the human limit is now a lie. You stand as living proof. They thought you were chasing a dream, but you weren't. You were unleashing a reality. You weren't climbing some ladder for recognition. You were dismantling it, rung by rung, splintering it with your bare hands, because what you're building doesn't need their hierarchy. It needs destruction. It needs truth. It needs you. And let's be clear, this version of you didn't come from inspiration. It came from pain, from silence, from nights where your name wasn't called, your hand wasn't held, your work wasn't seen. You didn't just walk through darkness, you married it. You made a home inside the void and learned to love the sound of your own breath echoing off the walls of isolation. That's where you were forged, not in the spotlight, not in applause, but in absence, in rage, in the unspoken war between who you were and who you were becoming. You made a choice to stop waiting, to stop wishing, to stop hoping the world would see you. You chose violence, not against others, but against mediocrity, against excuses, against every soft voice in your head whispering, "Take it easy." You ripped that voice out by the root and replaced it with a roar, with fire, with a sacred, unrelenting vow. I will never be small again. That vow, it echoes now, in your stride, in your breath, in your eyes. You're not even speaking, and they can hear it. That silent thunder rolling off you, that intangible sense that something about you is not safe, not for the fragile, not for the fake, not for the comfortable. You're not the villain, you're not the hero, you're the reckoning. The inevitable truth that sooner or later, everything soft must either sharpen or be shattered. You're not angry, you're awake. You've tasted your own capability, and now there's no going back. You don't want normal, you don't crave peace. You want war, not outside, but within. The daily battle to kill the older version of yourself, the one who hesitated, the one who made excuses, the one who wanted to be accepted. You bury that version every day, deeper and deeper, and every time they say, "WTF did you just do?" you dig the grave wider. They're not reacting to your success. They're reacting to your liberation, to your refusal to be bound by fear, by approval, by their cheap expectations. You became untouchable the day you stopped needing their permission, the day you looked at your scars and said, "This is my origin story, not my obituary." The day you understood that pressure wasn't the enemy, it was the forge. That pain wasn't punishment, it was prophecy. And now you own it. Look around, the weak are watching, the ones who scoffed when you started, the ones who rolled their eyes, who offered backhanded compliments, who said, "Don't burn out," because they were already ashes. They're scrambling now, whispering, wondering, because while they were trying to look good, you were becoming dangerous. While they were counting followers, you were counting reps. While they were networking, you were sharpening. While they were resting, you were becoming. And that's why they panic, because you are no longer in competition with them. You've transcended the arena. You are the storm circling the battlefield. You are the thing the war fears. You are inevitable, not because of luck, but because of decision. And you will never stop. That's the part that breaks them, the truth that haunts their sleep. You don't have an off switch. You are always coming, always hunting, always evolving. You have made relentlessness a religion. So what did you do really? You stopped pretending. You stopped shrinking. You stopped betraying yourself for comfort. You chose beast mode as your baseline. You tore out the part of you that begged for ease and replaced it with something ancient, something primal, something the soft world tried to bury long ago, unfiltered, unapologetic will. And that will, it doesn't ask, it doesn't pause, it doesn't explain, it devours. They can't relate, and they never will. They don't understand what it means to sacrifice everything, to find the edges of your own potential, to live in extremes, to abandon balance and embrace obsession. They'll try to diagnose it. They'll call it crazy. They'll say, "You're doing too much," because they know they could never do it. They know they could never be it. And that makes you the mirror they can't look into, the truth they can't unsee, the fire they can't contain. So don't stop now. Don't ease up. This isn't the climax. This is the warning shot. This is the opening chapter. Let them lose sleep wondering how you got here, and let them drown trying to keep up. Every time you show up, they should feel like the floor just cracked beneath them, like reality itself is bending, because when someone asks, "What the hell just happened?" the answer should always be the same. You happened. You happened. not by accident, not by fortune, not by luck. You were summoned by necessity, called into existence by a world too numb, too safe, too quiet. You are the backlash to the lie of mediocrity. You are the loud, relentless scream in a generation of whispers. The earthquake under foundations built on comfort. You didn't arrive gently. You were unleashed. You didn't emerge from applause. You erupted from silence. And every second you breathe, the message is clear. This is not the era of peace. This is the age of awakening. People are scrambling to figure you out, to make sense of what you've become. But you're not a riddle. You're a reckoning. You are not for understanding. You're for remembering, etching fear into the hearts of anyone who ever tried to confine you. You are what regret looks like to those who underestimated you. You are the ghost of potential come back to haunt them in flesh. And they feel it now, that chill behind their necks, that unease in their bones. It's not the cold, it's not the dark, it's you. You didn't just bend, you broke. But in that breaking, you didn't fall apart. You fell forward, you rebuilt, you reprogrammed. You resurrected yourself as something unrecognizable, something terrifying to anyone who thought this life was meant to be safe, soft, controlled. You looked around and realized comfort was the trap. You tore out the pieces that begged for safety and left only the parts that roared. You are not driven. You are possessed by purpose. And now they see you and they're shaking. Because you've crossed that invisible line they never dare to approach, the point of no return, the moment where ambition becomes obsession, where fear becomes fire, where routine becomes ritual, where trying becomes transcendence. They're still asking, WTF, did you just do? And the truth is, you became what they never thought possible. You became someone who doesn't need a way out, because you are the way through. Every breath you take now is rebellion. Every step is warfare. Every glance is a challenge. You are a living contradiction. Chaos with focus, rage with direction, silence with consequence. And you don't speak much anymore, do you? Because you don't need to. Your energy speaks. Your aura screams. You've become a message no one wants to receive, but no one can ignore. You are what happens when the underestimated stop asking and start taking. And don't think for 1 second, this is temporary. This isn't a phase. This isn't a season. This is who you are now. There's no going back. You've killed the part of you that could retreat. You've buried the part of you that once needed validation. What's left is the weapon, the survivor, the evolved. And you're not slowing down. You're sharpening. Every failure made you crueler. Every delay made you more savage. Every no turned you into a monster with a memory. They thought they saw your limits. They thought you peaked, but they didn't understand. You haven't even begun to open the gates. You've only scratched the surface of what you're capable of. And if this is what you can do while healing, while rebuilding, while rising, then what happens when you're fully locked in, fully possessed, fully armed with everything you've been working toward in secret? They won't survive it. And maybe that's the point. Maybe you weren't meant to coexist. Maybe you weren't born to play nice. Maybe this world needs its cages kicked down, its lies torn open, its cowards exposed. And you're the one they couldn't control, the one they couldn't tame, the one who looked at the system, spat in its face, and walked through the fire it swore would destroy you. Now you wear that fire like armor. So what now? You keep going. You keep waking up with the same hunger that got you here, the same ruthless focus, the same unbreakable spine. Because this isn't about proving them wrong anymore. This isn't about revenge. This is about legacy, about showing every soul, watching that you don't back down. You don't flinch, you don't fold. You weren't made to be remembered. You were made to echo through generations. And when they ask, and they will, what the hell happened? How did they do this? How did one person become that? You won't have to answer, because your actions will be enough. Your story will tell itself in battle scars, in relentless victories, in everything they said you couldn't do. Done. Loudly, permanently, violently. You will become the myth they swear was exaggerated. But you'll know it wasn't even close to the truth. This is it now. You are the chaos. You are the question they can't answer. You are the movement they can't predict. You are the future they didn't plan for. Every second from here on out is yours. Every drop of sweat, every second of rage, every hour of darkness. It all built this. You built this. And no one, not a single soul, gets to take it from you. So when they scream it again, "BROOO, what F did you just do?" Let it echo. Let it ring out. Let it serve as a warning, because the answer is simple, brutal, eternal. You became inevitable.